Good. By the way, acolytes, I realized at the end that instead of calling Karl, I called him Josh for some reason. That's of course not correct. Please remember that every time I say Josh, I mean Karl Jobst. For some reason, I just got confused. Welcome, my acolytes. I'm Graveseeker, and this is a reaction video to cheater Billy Mitchell is running scared. What the f? Irrelevant. From Karl Jobst. By the way, Karl Jobst, a freaking legend. He actually does content from speedruns, how they are done, what's done, news about it, and informative stuff all around speedruns in the main thing. And this little guy here, over here, is a scam artist named Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell is a record holder for some games, including Pac-Man, and he actually never did this. He doesn't have proof, he never did some of this, and got actually this launch, he got, he claimed some records he didn't have to, etc, 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 a lot. So this is a real scammer. Just saying, remember this face if you see it. Don't believe anything he has to say, because he is a scammer. He looks for people that are just too nice. Let's just say it like this. But, as it is, let's hear Karl Jobst out, what he has to say about it, because I'm really, really interested in what it actually did. And by the way, this guy, his tactic by now, critics sue them and just hope that they shut up. Didn't happen here.
Congratulations, we are past that date.
Oh wait.
Hello, you absolute legends.
Of course we have
Back in July, I confidently announced to the world that the Billy Mitchell vs. Twin Galaxies trial would begin on October 27. And by my calculations, we are past that date. So naturally, the trial should be well underway. And I've been seeing a lot of comments from people excited for an update. And boy, do I have an update for you. The trial is insane. It is complete pandemonium. You will not believe what has happened. If you thought Billy was crazy before, you've seen nothing yet.
What the like, this guy is really insane. He like lies, cheats. I mean, he thinks, just comes up with things up and just does. I mean, look at this. Just look at this. I think this has everything to say about the guy as it is.
These are the types of things I would have likely said if the trial had actually begun, but good old Billy has successfully delayed the trial until next January. Though honestly, I would—
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was actually, yeah, this makes sense. He has options. He has options doing that.
be shocked if it even happened then. Billy is afraid, and his lawyers are really, really afraid. They do not want to go to trial because they know they will lose. So they are doing everything in their power to prolong the lawsuit for as long as they can.
And by the way, this is a normal tactic where you basically just prolong the entire thing so you can suck up the finances of your enemy. This is a tactic that actually a lot of people, well, people, I mean not normal people like you and me, but bigger firms do, so you cannot sue them.
Naturally, if Billy had a case, you'd think they would want to get this sorted out as quickly as possible. I mean, Billy supposedly wants to prove to the world that he didn't cheat and that Twin Galaxies were lying. Trial is his opportunity to do this. The entire point of a defamation lawsuit is to show the public that what was said about you was wrong. The entire point is to try and fix your public image and restore your reputation. However, it seems as though Billy isn't really interested in that. All he wants to do is drag things out for as long as possible and to do as much financial damage as he can to his opponents. And he isn't just doing this with Twin Galaxies, he is doing this with me too. I've been trying to get a trial since June, but Billy keeps running away. He and his lawyers always do something which makes the process take even longer, even though I've been ready to go for months.
And as I said, this is a tactic that a lot of people do, just so, because after you actually drop the thing, they are innocent in the eyes of the public. So nothing will happen and they can just talk their way out again.
top of this, somehow I have become a central figure in the Twin Galaxies lawsuit. Billy's lawyers are making up insane lies about me and creating crazy conspiracy theories. I honestly don't know if it's because they are legitimately dumb or because they are legitimately scummy people. But
come on. We both know why. We cannot prove why, but we know that they are just scummy people. If you're working for a scammer, and the person that it's a scammer is alright scamming people, then the lawyer, the people you work with, will have the same, more or less, pattern of thinking like you do. So, if you're an honest person, you probably work with people that aren't scammers. If you are a scammer, you work with people that are scammers. It is what it is, it's that simple.
But whatever the case, whenever they bring up me in the legal filings, it seems like their IQ drops to about 60. Billy's lawyers are so afraid, they are even trying to get the lawyer for Twin Galaxies removed from the lawsuit.
Oh, what? We just perfect mentioned to discuss our David and the law group up from November. Huh? Please do not. Okay.
The only reason they would do this is if they think it's beneficial to their case. If you think Billy's lawyers are just doing their job, think again. These people are liars and scumbags. And I know this because they are lying about me, and I know the truth. In this video, I will give you a quick update as to what's been happening. I really hope you enjoy. Now, legends, if you're anything like me, you're probably losing a ton of money each month from subscriptions you just don't need. And that's where today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help.
We're gonna skip this.
To get started for free. Lawsuits take a long time. There are a ton of steps involved, and lawyers have a habit of waiting until the last minute to do things.
And they are fucking stressful. Really, really stressful.
But still, they can't last forever. They have to end eventually. And normally, if you are the innocent party, you want it to end as soon as possible, which in this case happens to be me. I want to go to trial, and I'm ready for trial. The only reason I haven't had trial yet is because of Billy Mitchell. Back in June, I officially requested a trial date, and then 2 weeks later, suddenly his lawyer retires, and he has to find new representation. I mean, what are the odds that Billy's lawyer retired immediately after we...
By the way, wait, why isn't it skipping back? Come on. Referencing blah 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 blah. Come on. In direction of number 2122. When was this? I think it was the trial. It was last year. For my explanation to June 21st and Colonel request to try further. So, yeah, I think it was last year, about the end of the year.
And he has to find new representation. I mean, so what are the odds that Billy's lawyer retired immediately after we asked to go to trial? Surely he would have known earlier and was planning for it, but if that was the case, why was he still representing Billy? Why did Billy get dropped literally the moment the prospect of trial was brought up? In any case, okay. Billy found new lawyers, but of course, they wanted to delay things so they had more time to prepare. I don't believe.
Good. Why did he drop? First of all, they on purpose gave him a lawyer that actually drops out in a certain time to delay everything. This is a normal delay tactic, happens all the time.
Blame them, because Billy's original lawyer was terrible.
It's just, well, all the time is overdone, it's not that often. But if it fits, it fits.
Absolutely terrible. I think Billy was trying to do things as cheaply as possible, because the original complaint that was submitted is just astonishingly bad. The new lawyers probably know it's bad, and they started to make changes. But the problem is that you can't just start making changes to a complaint that is years old. It's completely unreasonable and in many cases against the rules. So now we have to go through this battle to try and stop all these changes being made, and it is again dragging things out. Thankfully, if Billy does amend his original complaint and I have to draft a new defense, it looks like Billy will have to cover my costs in doing so. So if he does keep amending his complaint, he'll be paying legal fees on both sides until it's all resolved. Cool. Australia is really good.
That's at least a bit positive, but also extremely annoying. And it takes time. And again, stress.
when it comes to compensating costs. If he changes something 2 years later and then I have to spend more because of it, the Australian courts say that Billy needs to compensate me back for the extra effort. So if Billy does keep messing around, delaying things, he will have to pay a lot of money. But unfortunately for me, it just means I have to keep dealing with this for a lot longer. But for my part,
yes.
I am definitely ready to rock.
The thing is, you still have to keep on going. Because if you drop it at any point, you're done. You're done, Josh. Just keep on pushing. I know it's not easy, but keep on pushing. You have to. Because you can lose so much more than the few stressful nerves you actually got now.
Originally, the Twin Galaxies lawsuit was set for October, but again, Billy is running and hiding. His lawyers successfully delayed it until November, and then they delayed it again until January. Twin Galaxies wants to go to trial as soon as possible. Who wouldn't want to go to trial against Billy Mitchell? It's the easiest slam dunk of all time. The man is a walking L. Billy has no case, he has no evidence, and he has no witnesses. And funnily enough, Billy's lawyers are blaming me for Billy having no one that's willing to lie on his behalf. Yes, it's my fault that Billy can't get any witnesses to back up his story. Recently, Billy's lawyer...
See, this is one of the effing most insane... Like, how can you think about it? It's because of you that nobody wants to lie for him. Or speak against him. What? Action filed 2019. Okay, I'm sorry about that. It wasn't last year. Last year was where I actually started to look at it. Yep. 4 years. It's not 4 years. 3 years with a. I would say a bit over 3 years. So not that far away. But yeah. Yeah, that's a very long time for this shit, for a case where Josh basically wins. Just let it sit for a second, acolytes. Over 3 years for some shit where you basically already won. That's insane.
Lawyers filed a motion to disqualify Tash, the lawyer for Twin Galaxies, from the lawsuit. And one of the reasons is because Tash gave me access to depositions. Billy claims his deposition was confidential, and his lawyers have already tried to argue this in a previous motion. Previously, they tried to hold Tash in contempt for providing depositions, and the judge denied the order. Now they are doing the same thing again, even though the judge has already ruled on this exact matter. First of all, nothing marked confidential was sent to me, and second of all, most of the materials I get don't even come from Tash. It comes from Twin Galaxies. In Billy's recent motion, they claim that Tash sent me depositions for all of these people. However, they are just making things up. Yes, Tash did send me a couple of depositions, but most of the ones I've received didn't come from him. And yet, Billy's lawyers are happy to make up lies with no evidence to try and get Tash disqualified.
And you know why? Because it might work. It might just be enough to actually function. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's not your decision. It's the freaking judge's decision if he believes you or not. Of course, normally, because if the judge reads it, he's like, what are those for? Those are some dumb fucks. I just don't agree with it. But it has this little mini chance where it may maybe work. And just waste more time.
He claims that Tash continued to send me depositions after he was informed it was a violation of the protective order, but this is patently false. First, the deposition was not confidential, and again, the judge has already ruled on that. And second, Tony's email to Tash was on July 14. The last email me or my lawyers ever received from Tash was July 6, a week earlier. Everything else I've ever gotten came from Twin Galaxies, not their lawyer. They claim that because I talk about depositions in my videos, Billy can't get his friends to sit for deposition. They cite Billy's friend Robert Childs, saying that he is afraid. But here's the thing about Robert Rob Childs. Rob was supposed to be deposed in January at the same time as Billy Mitchell, but just before his deposition, he got a lawyer and avoided it, and has been trying desperately to avoid being asked questions. So he was already unwilling to testify for Billy in January, which is half a year before I made any videos about any depositions. Again, it's just another lie. They also claim that Triforce won't sit for deposition for the same reason. They want us to believe that Triforce, the guy that does public talks defending Billy, the guy that uploads YouTube videos to his own channel defending Billy Mitchell, is afraid to defend Billy in a deposition because it will be uploaded to the internet. This is,
as I say, maybe they are just hoping because they know they lost. They have nothing against you. They just hope you just give up. That's the tactic. As sad as it is, it works a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times. And I just hope you still stand up fighting because you basically won. You just have to grind a little bit further. And I know it's easier said than done because it still costs a lot of money. Like things like that still cost a lot of money, but you know.
This is what I mean when I say Billy's lawyers have an IQ of 60. They cannot grasp simple logic. Obviously, Triforce doesn't care if something is posted online, he does it himself. On Twitter, he even acted as if deposing him wouldn't be a problem. It's only when Billy wants to try to attack Twin Galaxies that Triforce is now suddenly camera shy. Of course, all of this is irrelevant, however, because all Billy has to do is subpoena Rob Childs or Triforce, and they don't have a choice but to sit down for a deposition. But Billy won't subpoena them, because he knows they won't be able to keep all of their lies straight. Keep in mind, Twin Galaxies have always been very open about any information they have. They want the public to know as much as possible. Twin Galaxies cares about the truth and wants the truth to be known, whatever that truth may be. So Twin Galaxies provides any information that it can, and Twin Galaxies has had no problem getting witnesses to testify, because as it turns out, people are happy to tell their story when they aren't lying. It's only
correct, and by the way, Twin Galaxies is pretty clean, so even in that case, it's like, you know.
Only when people have to lie that answering questions becomes difficult. Billy Mitchell is the one that's trying to keep all of this information suppressed. It's Billy Mitchell that is afraid of the truth coming out. Billy's lawyers also lie about communications I've had with Twin Galaxies. Billy was very upset about getting caught in the lie about the color of the joystick at the Mortgage Brokers Convention. They claim that Twin Galaxies should have given them the photos beforehand. And
by the way, for those who don't know, he lied about this specific color of the joystick. They asked him if it's black. He said yes, and no. The original is black. This was a red one, so it wasn't original. But he proclaimed no, it was black, and this is the machine he played on, so the color was different.
And that tricking Bill.
Or blue. I don't remember the original color, but I know the color was wrong.
Billy was morally wrong. They take a portion of my video and try to use it as proof that it was all an evil scheme. There are so many logical flaws in here, it's honestly hard to believe. So I'll just rapid fire through the problems, or we will be here all day. If you need to, you can pause my video to read my script first. They say Twin Galaxies only sent them 2 emails from me during discovery, but that's impossible because I knew about the photos. Therefore, this must be a giant cover-up.
And by the way, I won't pause it for you, just do it yourself if you want to read it. It's not that... It's basically just a recap.
Oh my god, a 6-year-old could debunk this logic. I communicate with Jace Hall through Signal, which deletes messages after 10 minutes. They seem to forget that email isn't the only form of communication. They quote me as saying I knew about the photos for years, which I have just never said. What are they even quoting? Those 2 words don't appear in the quoted paragraph, and I've never even said that. I just said I knew the photos existed. I never gave a time frame. They think that because I knew Twin Galaxies had the photos since 2020, that means Twin Galaxies must have told me in 2020. This is insanely stupid. Twin Galaxies told me years later.
Dumbasses. Yeah. And by the way, they make a few K more than us a year. Just like that, let that sink in. That people that are really higher on the freaking totem pole are that big of morons.
They had the photos since 2020. Billy's lawyers haven't yet discovered the concept of talking about past events. I knew about the photos beforehand, but that doesn't mean I knew because of Twin Galaxies either. Those photos have been in the public domain since 2011. Multiple people outside of Twin Galaxies independently had seen the photos, but
God damn it. He looks like the word Capuanova gamer, a true gamer here. Here is he.
The photos. But truthfully, I saw the photos for the first time after Billy's deposition. Before that, I only knew that photos showing a red joystick existed. I hadn't seen them myself, which is why in my video I say I knew about them, not that I had them or had seen them. They say that I said Twin Galaxies planned to withhold the photos so they could lay a trap. And apparently I can only know this because Twin Galaxies told me. But Twin Galaxies didn't tell me that, it's just obvious from the deposition. Anyone with more than 2 brain cells who watches that deposition knows the questions they asked only make sense if they assumed Billy didn't have the photos. Obviously, Twin Galaxies didn't give Billy the photos. When I made my YouTube video, I was just hyping it up to make it more interesting. And besides, this trap only works if Billy is a compulsive liar, which he just happens to be. Tony Elrod claims he asked for the photos as part of discovery, and refers to Request for Production 36. This was asking for any document supporting allegations made by Twin Galaxies in paragraph 25 of the cross complaint. That paragraph talks about a live performance on July 14. However, the photos were actually taken on July 13, so they aren't even on the same day, therefore they are not evidence Billy even played on July 14. And
I think they got caught. I think they honestly got caught. Like, they got them. They got them.
Couldn't support that claim in any way. All those photos show is Billy standing in front of a Donkey Kong machine the day prior. They don't confirm he played it. They don't even confirm that it was the machine in question. It is impossible to determine if that machine relates to his July 14 score. In his lawsuit, Billy claims he played on an unmodified machine. So based on what Billy had previously said, as far as Twin Galaxies knew, that machine couldn't have been the one he played on, because that machine was modified. It wasn't until Billy confirmed himself that it was the machine he used that the photos became relevant.
Yep. And this lying scumbag makes money out of this. Yep. He literally just went into a trap, got snapped, and he didn't even realize it that he was the only one that activated it. Someone else set up the trap, and he activated it like a little nice moron.
But do you want to know what the best part of the red joystick saga is? Billy did actually know the photos existed, and he even already had them himself. Now I know what you're thinking. How the fuck is it possible that Billy had the photos and still lied about the color of the stick and fell for the trap? Well, my friend, there are just some things us mortal men can simply never grasp or comprehend. All we can try to do is know the facts. In 2018, Billy called David Race and said the convention had photos. Here's a clip from that phone call.
I didn't realize it wasn't just a convention like a group of people. It was a state convention. It's run by the state. Everything is on record. They have minutes of the meeting. She said in the minutes they talked about me. And she said they're going to have information, whatever we want. She said she's very sure they'll have pictures, everything, because it's the state and they keep very good track of this.
Then in August 2022, 5 months before his deposition, Billy subpoenaed the convention and got the photos. So Billy already had them. And still in his deposition, not only did he say he didn't have photos.
Do you have any photos of you at the mortgage brokers convention?
No, I don't.
Do you have any photos of the Donkey Kong arcade machine that you played there?
No.
But he still said the stick was black.
If it wasn't black, I wouldn't have played it.
Why is that?
Because the other joysticks are not real joysticks. They're not Donkey Kong joysticks.
They're not four-way joysticks?
They're not authentic joysticks.
There are multiple levels of stupidity running concurrently here. And you know what's interesting? When Tash asked Billy if he had photos, and Billy said no, who was sitting right next to Billy? Billy's lawyer, Tony Elrod. So Tony was happy to sit there and listen to his client lie, and was happy to keep the fact that he had the photos a secret, but when Twin Galaxies traps a compulsive liar, now that becomes a problem. Tony Elrod complains about Tash for various things, like messaging Billy's witnesses trying to get them to send evidence or testify, or showing emotion in his email correspondence, but he himself has done far worse. Tony lied directly to a witness about what Billy Mitchell had said in his deposition, in order to try and coerce the witness into changing their testimony, because what the witness was saying was so damaging to Billy's case. Elrod is happy to send over fabricated evidence and to lie on behalf of his client, and when exposed, simply say that it's all a conspiracy theory. Billy's lawyers are going after Tash because Tash is good, and they know they will be destroyed at trial. Billy and his lawyer Tony Elrod are cowards doing everything they can trying to prevent this entire pathetic lawsuit from being shown to a jury. Everyone knows they will lose, including them, and they are desperate. And I really hope Tony Elrod improves his comprehension skills and gets his facts straight before talking about me again in his frivolous lawsuit. I will let you know when any further updates happen. Thank you so much for watching, you legends.
Yeah, that just show this extra. I mean, look at him. Yes, of course. Freaking scammer. Billy is screwed. Yeah, good photo, by the way. A really good one. Yeah. So, as it is, my acolytes, at the end of the day, I mean, what can you say about this? I mean, look at this.
Group of people. It was a
This is... Come on. And this man is just a scam artist. Please look at the video of Josh himself, Karl Jobst. Why did I call him Josh? I'm sorry for that. F it. Okay, it is what it is. It's a mistake. Yeah. Jobs. Irrelevant. It's fine. Yeah. So please, if you have interest in the entire story, go to Karl Jobst thing, look at it, and get it done.